Press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the schmoes know, this is Guilty Movie Pleasures. In-depth discussion on movies, no matter how guilty they make you feel.
All right, Schmoville, what's happening? Coming in hot here today for the Guilty Movie Pleasures show.
Hot.
We're super hot. We're really, really hot with my co-host Ben Begley at Ben Begley Comedy. You guys follow him on Twitter. He's a new member of Schmoville. So
and I don't tweet that often, but I promise I'll start now.
Yes, he feels a lot of pressure because his Twitter is at Ben Begley Comedy. So if he doesn't say anything funny, make sure you make fun of him.
And even the jokes are just not necessarily always that funny.
Well, you're a funny guy.
Yeah, for every piece of gold, there's at least 14 bronze turds leading up to it.
So for every Michael Phelps, there's like a crap ton of like baton gymnasts. Yeah, I know. There's like the events.
They don't
in the
do the
Olympics
same.
that
Okay, I get it now.
You know what I mean?
I thought you thought Michael Phelps twirled batons for a second there.
No,
but then I realized you didn't know. I mean, you knew what Michael Phelps.
I was going to say another swimmer, but only other people know is like Ryan Lochte.
Yeah, I don't know
just
any.
As good.
Yeah, I don't know you don't know any terrible swimmers.
No, because
why would you? Because swimming is such there's like
don't make fun of
5.
swimming.
No, I wish I could swim better. I almost drowned in Croatia once. That's a story for another day. I was saved by a man named Mislav.
Taken 4.
Taken
4. Ben drowns in Croatia.
And is saved by Mislav. So, anyways, we're here to talk about something.
We're talking movies. We like to start it off organic.
Yeah.
In keeping with our theme of Oscars month, we are discussing another movie, a guilty pleasure type movie starring 2 Oscar winners. Quentin Tarantino, who wrote the screenplay, and also stars as Richie Gecko.
Gecko, yes.
Is Quentin Tarantino? He starred in this movie, and then George Clooney, who won for Syriana.
Who's won for so much stuff. He also won,
and then he
didn't he win Best Director?
Good Luck.
We should have researched this.
Yeah, listen,
everybody loves him. He's won a lot. And then Harvey Keitel has been nominated. I can't remember if he's won officially. There we are. This is weird, and it's on a delay.
Harvey Keitel is. Did he win? Well, he was in Taxi Driver. I feel like he might have been nominated for Taxi Driver. Maybe not. I don't know. We should have done a little more research.
You know what? We'll just amend this later.
Again, George Clooney has won an Oscar.
We'll add it in the YouTube comments.
Tarantino has won an Oscar. We're gonna unveil our.
Juliette Lewis was in Natural Born Killers and Oliver Stone.
Correct.
So degrees of separation. Yeah.
So we're talking From Dusk Till Dawn. I always like to talk about one. Do you remember the first time you saw the movie?
Yes, I do actually.
Okay,
because
I was really excited.
I was 13, and me and my buddies, we were in my buddy Benny Falkman's basement.
Oh, Benny Falkman.
And it was like a sleepover where we'd play like Mario Kart and watch movies we weren't supposed to watch.
Yep.
And we rented from Video Time in Akron, Ohio on VHS From Dusk Till Dawn. And I remember
on VHS.
Yeah. And I remember watching it on like a 27-inch tube television and being like, "Oh my God, there's so many boobs," because I'm 13 and I was a really sheltered kid. So that may have been one of my first, at least that many boobs in one movie that I had seen. I think it was like my awakening to these are amazing.
I love these things. Where can I see
Where
more?
can I see? How do I get more of this? It's only like 3 minutes of the movie. But
and then there was that shady kid in your school that had a bunch of VHS porns, and you're like, dude.
There was.
Yeah.
There was.
Dude, let me get some of that.
That was a whole nother story, though.
Good. We're talking boobs. Let's keep going.
There's another time where some kid brought over a porno to another friend's house, and it was like maybe a 15-minute porno. And I remember a few of us left and came back, and there was some the other kids that were still there watching this. Like 3 hours later, we're like, what? And at that age, you're too young to know what to do with the feelings you're having. You're like, what?
Very conflicted. You're watching a porn with a bunch of guys in the same room, and it's just weird.
I can't wait to get made fun of on Twitter for this conversation.
Hey, at Ben Begley Comedy, you guys can follow him on Twitter. Tweet at him, tell him how awkward his childhood sounded.
And the dude's grandma was in the other room while everybody was watching the porn in the living room.
Okay.
And she came in and was like, "What were you watching? Were you watching a porno? You were all so quiet." And we were like, "No, no, it was just a scary movie and we were all freaked out.
And the movie was so loud that she heard like the moaning, and she's like, "Oh, they're probably just playing some kind of weird kid game.
Some weird video.
Whatever these kids are doing these days."
Kids. Oh, Nana.
I will say, I saw this. My buddy Colin Redman. Oh, Nana, guys. Hashtag Oh Nana.
Hashtag Oh Nana.
Oh Nana. Nana
You're
would
so
probably not be
silly.
a fan of From Dusk Till Dawn. But,
No.
So my buddy Colin Redman, he loved Tarantino movies.
Yeah.
Like, so the
didn't?
first time I saw Pulp Fiction, he made me Reservoir Dogs. We watched together. I mean, it was like this was his kind of genre. So From Dusk Till Dawn comes out. I definitely watched it on VHS. He had one of the split level houses, and they had the family room in the middle of the house instead of like the downstairs.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So it was like this sitting room.
And would that have been an inappropriate movie for you guys to watch at
Oh,
that age?
definitely.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you were
yeah.
in double danger zone of people
Of
coming
course.
up and down. Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself how disappointed I was that we never saw Salma Hayek naked.
Yeah.
Like she turned it. I was so
You're right.
excited to see, like, there's boobs everywhere.
Yeah, and then that is one thing.
And she comes out and she's doing this sexy dance. You're like, listen, I've seen everybody else's boobs. We're definitely seeing boobs.
It's gonna happen because you see him briefly in Desperado in the
Yes.
sex scene. Like, but you got to pause it, and there's a candle blocking
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We've been there. We know where to pause it exactly. You
Yes,
know? And
everybody
with
does.
DVDs, it's easier because on VHS you got the tracking in the middle and you had to
Yeah.
watch out. The kids out there that are watching, you guys have no idea the
Yeah, you
struggle
can
we
just-
went through to see boobs on
You can
VHS.
just Google it on your iPhone.
Yes.
We had to get scrambled channels.
We had to turn
and-
the volume all the way down, had to make sure our parents weren't home, and then... Yeah. Anyway, so we're watching it up there, and I'm so excited. I'm like, boobs everywhere. Salma Hayek comes out. She drops whiskey down her leg, which I had a stripper do to me in Nashville. And
we'll get back to that later.
yeah. And she's all sexy, and at this point, Quentin Tarantino has already killed 9 people and raped a bank teller.
Yeah, like super.
He's
total
gonna
creeper.
kill somebody. Yeah. And then whiskey's going everywhere, and Clooney's kind of looking at him like, I don't know if this is a good idea. But
But then there's a shot, if you really look, when she's like waving her hips and Clooney's behind her, and he's just like. And
Yeah.
I don't think that was acting. I think it was literally just dumbfounded, like this.
I didn't know this
Oh
was going
my
to be
God.
this good.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, she's gonna. And then boom, before you know it, they're vampires.
Yeah.
And we never get to see boobs at all. We see and then you go from
Then you
like
see-
super turned on teenage boner
Just super creepy
to like,
vampire
oh my God,
chick
it's a
boobs.
vampire movie.
To like sagging like creature effect boobs
Yes.
that are
And
yeah.
this was the kind of movie that probably had a trailer on TV, but it wasn't like
Yeah.
it wasn't a well received movie at the beginning. It wasn't like
Yeah, it became like a
huge
cult
success.
classic. And
Exactly.
also when we were kids, we didn't
Watch
you couldn't
trailers.
YouTube trailer. We didn't
No.
have YouTube.
Yeah, you had to wait on TV for them, and they weren't going to show the good parts. So you went in from Dusk Till Dawn thinking like, oh, it's going to be a bank heist movie. Everybody's getting killed.
Yeah.
To some crazy, like it's 2 movies.
Yeah,
There
it's
are two
two
movies.
completely different movies
Yeah.
crammed into one, and under anybody else's helming of it, it wouldn't work. But with
No.
the Tarantino Rodriguez pairing, it works really, really well.
Yeah, they're like the Ben Affleck and Matt Damon
Of grindhouse movies,
Yeah.
of like super awesome genre movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really look at
They're like the
Tarantino's
Siskel
career,
and Ebert of
Yeah.
just let's start going out pairings. Go pairings.
they're the Turner and Hooch.
Yes, they're the Starsky and Hutch.
They're the Thelma and Louise,
They're the Kate and Kate.
Laverne and Shirley. Now I'm just going with female pairings. Bert and Ernie.
Oh, they're the son of a
They're the 2 guys from 2 Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
all right,
Which
that's
is
that.
Ryan Reynolds and Nose Job guy, who the guy that got a nose job
Jennifer
before the
Grey?
second. No, a similar thing happened to him.
Yeah.
though. No one except me understands what I just
They're
said.
the
so.
Stuck on You of Grindhouse. Tweet at us at
I don't know how to
at Josh
top
Macuga.
that.
Throw out some pairings of who Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino might be in other genres of movies.
Before we move on, I
Go
want to
ahead.
go back to the stripper.
Yes. The stripper bonanza?
The foot with the whiskey
Yes.
down the foot. Because
Okay.
I was thinking last night. I'm
Foot and
watching
mouth
this.
disease?
Yeah, kind of. I'm watching this last night, and I'm like, yeah, Salma Hayek is super hot. I don't really like feet or germs. That place is grimy.
I mean,
she's walking.
grimy, Ben? That's the dirtiest place in the
You
world.
get Hep C walking in there.
Yes, yeah.
So like, she's walking around barefoot in this filthy place, and I know that Richard Gecko is like, Rapey McRaperson, so it's like he's not really worried about germs,
Yeah.
But it just it's to me, I'm like, I don't know if I could do that in real life ever, if no matter how hot the stripper was. And then you've done it. So in that moment, what were you thinking? Were you like, should I swallow this or just like make sure that I get rid of these germ-infested beer?
Can I tell you my thought process on the whole thing?
Yeah.
So
I can't wait for the comments about this.
It was actually a pretty respectable flop house in Nashville.
I don't scoff at that because they do exist.
Yeah, it was nice. It was late in the night. Obviously, it was a bachelor party, so we'd been drinking excessively. And you've been around me drunk before.
Yes.
I can take it to the extremes.
I'll be there probably Wednesday when you're drunk.
Yes, yeah, you will. My birthday this
for your
Wednesday.
birthday. Tweet happy birthday to him.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And tweet all your insults to me.
And she's walking around, and I said, and my buddy Colin Redmond, who I'd seen from Dusk Till Dawn, was at this bachelor party, and I was like, some Hayek whiskey on the thing. You think they'll do it? And I was like, he's like, probably. And I was like, hey, do you guys do like whiskey down your leg into a guy's mouth? And they were like, yeah, it's sort of like a leg ice luge. And I was like, yeah, definitely like that.
It's like a thing.
It's a thing. So I buy a shot of whiskey, and she pours it down her leg, and I drink it off her foot. And people are kind of like grossed out. I was like, guys, it's whiskey. It kills all the germs. And thinking, I didn't get sick. I got
medically
nothing.
not proven.
Yeah, medically definitely unfounded. On WebMD, like the whole rest of the weekend, they were like, this is the guy that took the shot off the stripper and like saw my act. I swear, like I don't. It was just a thought thing that was running through my head, and I was fine.
Meanwhile, my friends, our goal has always been at a bachelor party to hire a stripper, have them come to the room, and then instead of having them strip, confuse them by asking them if they could beat the Rainbow Road track on Mario Kart with the secret.
It's impossible.
It is. Yeah. But we want to try and teach a stripper that within like a 5 to 20, whatever our window is.
How long you can get them for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. Like you bring them into.
Now, I'm not saying that strippers aren't gamers
would
or
they have to play the Mario Kart naked?
No, I think that would be the funniest thing.
You just want female company.
Yeah. In hindsight, that's a really sad thing.
It sure is.
I mean, that was like years ago. I'm married now, so I don't need strippers playing Mario Kart with me.
Every morning.
Speaking of, I did watch this with my wife last night.
Which you've been tweeting out, which is kind of cool. And you've been excited about it.
Yeah, so far we're 2 for 2. She loved Face Off, and she liked From Dusk Till Dawn even better.
Really?
I thought she'd get kind of off, like off-putting because it's dark in parts.
Dark movie.
It's like it's kind of.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's not the nicest movie towards women, Like they kill a lot of female. I mean, they're vampires. They had it coming, but But it's like it's very like it feels like a male-driven like kind of movie.
Kind of.
Very much, but she liked it. She thought it was a lot of fun.
Okay,
so I was excited. Got a good one.
You did. You got a winner, Ben. The movie starts.
Oh yeah, we should talk about the plot now.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So
we only took 11 minutes this time instead of 22 like last week.
Listen, we go with how we want, and the show's only 40 minutes, and we can we can
do whatever we want. Let's just keep talking about strippers in Nashville.
So again, going back to the theory that this is 2 separate movies.
Yes.
Because you go in and you're in every Quentin Tarantino movie has some sort of convenience store scene that has like a ton of dialogue.
This is one of the best convenience store scenes.
Without a doubt.
I didn't signal him.
Yeah. So John Hawkes, who plays
it's so cool, right?
Awesome. He plays the convenience store clerk, and then the shady sheriff.
Michael Parks, who's in a ton of Tarantino movies.
The sheriff?
Yeah. He was in Kill Bill as 2 different roles. He was the guy.
Kill Bill 1 or 2? Or both?
Both.
He wasn't the weird guy in the Mexican with the cigarette and the weird.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's him.
Shit. Okay.
And he also plays, I can't remember now, but he's in like a ton of Tarantino stuff.
I like the Tarantino, like Wes Anderson, like Christopher Guest, these directors that love their actors, and they use them all the same way, just differently.
Yeah. And Robert Rodriguez too, young Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Who still has this super old looking face, but super young. Like you're like, oh, he's like 20 there.
Danny Trejo was buying booze when he was 11.
I know.
And they were kind of like, do you need a job? Do you want to work here? Like he's so old. And that tattoo is incredible. It never goes away.
He's such a badass, though, man.
Awesome.
Danny Trejo's awesome. Machete, those movies are so great.
Those movies. See, here's the thing, and what makes to me From Dusk Till Dawn a guilty movie pleasure is because. You think that it's going to be this movie about a bank heist and like they kidnap this family and then they're going to get in like a Wild West shootout.
Tarantino-ish dialogue, and like, we're watching this kind of indie art house bank robbing movie.
What I like about his movies and even though Robert Rodriguez directed this but he wrote it, is that he pays such close attention to detail.
Yeah.
right? I love the attention to detail. Okay, like in this first scene with John Hawkes spit and chew. They're just rapping between one another.
And you get to know both those characters so much just from their small talk. Like
maybe 6 pages of dialogue, 7 pages of dialogue. So they're in that scene, and John Hawkes, like, he even says it in the movie. It's like, you deserve an Oscar for how well you put
natural
that.
Of it,
because you have no idea that they're in that convenience store until he comes out with the gun and the 2 kidnapped girls that somehow just disappear. We never see them again.
No, they run out. There's a shot where they run out.
I know they run out, but they like don't hunt them down.
Yeah, apparently they just run.
They don't go to the cops who then, because there's only one road in and out of town, so they couldn't find them on this road.
I mean, I think they thought that, shooting a sheriff in the head, then shooting a burning guy that then falls into popcorn with the popcorn popping is an awesome detail. I think shooting 2 women, too, in the beginning may have been a little dark.
Cops, everything.
Because they
killed everybody.
You know what freaked me out the most when the sheriff gets shot in the head in the beginning? Yeah. Is when he falls, his mouth's doing this weird, like... And it's such a creepy detail, like he's like still.
Rodriguez loves those like prosthetics and that stuff.
But I mean that like it's literally like him just like, and I'm like, I always got chills from that. I was like, oh Jesus.
Well, it's a very gory movie, like any of those movies. Yeah. But so, he again, and they blow up the convenience store. Let's just think of plot holes in this scene alone.
And that one shot is awesome, where they blowing it up with them walking behind it.
Yeah.
That had to be one take, because how could you
blow up another thing? It's all one take. It has to be.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's such a good scene.
But okay, so they're in this small town in Texas. Okay, they have a car that people know that they're in. There's a kidnapped person in that car.
And the car's parked right out front, right?
Car's parked
apparently,
right out front.
So the sheriff doesn't see the car when he pulls up.
Nope.
He's like, man, I'm looking for these bank robbers in this car, but I need to drain the lizard, so I can't focus on the car right here across the street. He does a much better job than me.
The creepy people in Tarantino movies and sheriffs in these small towns all have weird names for things, like drain the lizard. That's something that the drunk uncle would say. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's like, I'm not.
He calls like
take a leak.
He calls like the kid at the fry shop like a mongoloid, like all these weird terms that like people don't use. That in like
no mongoloids running a fry. You're like, Jesus, dude.
It's like, oh,
was this necessary? Are we getting anything?
There's always a little bit of like super offensive / borderline, like really offensive dialogue in Tarantino movies. He sneaks it in there, and you're like, oh, it's just these.
Well, there's the disclaimer at the beginning of every movie. These opinions are that of whatever. They're not like real. But come on, dude, you're calling him a mongoloid.
It's pretty rough.
The word still came out.
It's pretty rough.
Anyway, so they blow that up. Again, there's one road that seems to be in and out of town. There's they blow up the only convenience store. Obviously, some red flags and go, and then they just drive away. No cops are really going to chase them down because that's just how it is in the situation.
Because you would think they don't drive too far to get to the motel.
It can't be because they're in Texas. How far is the border? The border's not far.
I mean, Texas is a giant state.
True, but the whole bottom part of it is a border.
Yeah. I don't know where they go. Yeah, so do the cops just go, oh, man.
Crap, we lost them. Better call the guys over in the next county. They'll pick them up.
Yeah. It's just a series of telephone games like, hey, next county, have you found them yet? No. Oh, something blew up. I guess they were here.
Oh, crap.
We should look for this really sweet car and this guy with the most obvious tattoo on the planet. This, like...
No discernible markings, right?
None. He's got just this, like, black flame, like, jagged
He's got the douche tattoo crawling up his neck.
I know.
Come on.
Only George Clooney could pull that off.
Yeah, he can pull off just
the douche tattoo crawling up his neck. Hashtag douche tattoo.
We got 2 hashtags so far.
Yeah, so far.
Oh, Nana. Oh, Nana. And douche tattoo.
Douche tattoo.
So you guys can put that in the old comment section or tweet at us.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so now they get to the Sleepy Eye Motel.
Yeah.
Or the Cozy Eye, the Cozy Pill.
Oh, see, sleepy if pillow? This was a question later for were you paying attention, I was not paying attention to the name of it.
Nope.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, sure. It's Sleepy Eye.
Yeah. Okay, so we will play that game. Are you paying attention?
Okay.
Later, because I got some good ones. So, so then they get to the Cozy Eye Motel, and we see the bank teller for the first time. And I will tell you what, Clooney is a really good actor in this movie. Because this scene, he is dark, he is creepy, he lays it on the line.
And they do such a good job in that it's like so well written in that moment where not to jump ahead, but when he comes back and the bank teller's dead and he just is like, this is not who I am. Is this who you think I am? We do not kill people. We do not. I'm a thief, And then all the terrible shit he says to the family, specifically the Harvey Keitel scene where he's like, oh, your wife died, blah, and he's being so nonchalant about it. you know that that's not really him. That's him putting on a front so that they're afraid of him. But his brother's just like, I don't think they don't ever really explain why he's so weird and he sees these visions and like.
Well, it's like, I mean, in Natural Born Killers they explain it because he had daddy issues, but in this one we have no explanation other than he's just a raging sociopath.
We did forget one plot hole.
Go ahead.
The fact that he gets a hole shot through his hand and then duct tapes it.
Yeah.
And then
it's
just
fine
boom. No painkiller. You don't see him take any painkillers. I mean, it's a Grindhouse movie, so you forgive it. But that's just
He's looking through his hand.
It's so
and there's
awesome.
a hole.
The shot of.
Okay. If you guys do right now, go ahead and look at your hand. If you're watching at home or whatever.
Let's do this.
There are major veins and major bones.
I mean, it would
in your
never
hand.
stop bleeding.
It would never stop bleeding, and you would die from lack of
so
blood.
much.
A hole through your hand, Ben?
Yeah.
That's how Jesus was killed. He was crucified. Okay? His holes were put through his hands. This is a main artery in your whole body.
I think, it was just a hole through his hand. That's how he was killed.
Well, Dad, I mean, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, you put a hole in your hand, guys. You're not going to make it to Mexico and think you're going to, like, fight to live another day. You're like, I'm going to have a bunch of whiskeys.
I love how they duct tape it, and then he's like, and him and George Clooney are sitting there, and George Clooney's like, it's too tight. We got to loosen it up a little.
And then
it just,
some
like,
whiskey on there, some
sort
booze.
of, like...
then it wraps the duct tape back in it. Guys, listen, duct tape will solve a lot of things. It will not cure a hole in your hand.
No.
Again,
hot glue might.
Hot glue, maybe. Liquid cement, I don't know.
Cement.
Just saying, duct tape won't. Kids, if you put a hole in your hand, get to a hospital immediately.
Immediately.
Plot hole part 3. Oh, thanks, Steven. That's the more you know.
Oh, I didn't even see him. You're hiding behind the TVs back there. I was like, are we alone in here? I'm really nervous right now.
So they're at the Cozy Eye Motel. He kills and rapes the bank teller, which is so scary.
That
like,
part's super scary.
There's blood everywhere.
And like, it's so good how
he shoots it.
Yeah, how they show just George Clooney's reaction, and you're like, oh, something's bad. And then you get these blips, like Fight Club style blips, which I mean was before Fight Club, so Fight Club, you know.
Yeah.
But the little blip of like, and each time it gets worse, and then they show it just out of focus in the background, which is a tasteful way to show such a horrific.
And as a 12-year-old, the first time watching it,
it was scared the shit out of me. Because and then that's where you're just so like, what am I watching?
One of few movies has made me want to stay at a motel less than From Dusk Till Dawn. Because the sleazy motels never look good in movies. Something bad always happens at them.
I'm trying to think, there's something else that there's several movies that make me not want to stay in motels. Also, just like the general stains on the carpet.
Yeah. And bed sheet and whatever. It's just, it's not a good place, guys. It's not good.
You take a black light, it's horrifying. It looks like a Dexter crime scene.
Dexter, good show.
Until the final season.
So then Harvey Keitel and his family, we find out Harvey Keitel was once a minister, but his wife died, so now he's not into God, and Juliette Lewis is trying to make him into God, and then
he
their
has
Asian adopted
son from China.
Chinese adopted son. They get attacked and kidnapped by George Clooney.
But they also like. We don't really know why I forget why they're going across the border. There's some reason where they're like. They just need to get away.
They need to get away. They're like on a family vacation in this motorhome, like trying something new.
And then to sleep at the shittiest motel on the planet. And she even Juliette Lewis calls them out like, she's kind of the smartest one in the whole trio. If they just would have listened.
Spoiler alert, that's why she survives.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet.
So then they get kidnapped and they get on the road and they're like, you're going to take us over the border in your sweet ass motorhome.
And then there's that creepy scene where Tarantino thinks Juliette Lewis says, I don't want to say it.
Yeah, we don't have to.
We don't have to say it. But Tarantino thinks Juliette Lewis is coming onto him with a very graphic line about her nether regions.
Yes, and I've always wanted a girl to say that to me. And I don't care who you are. It's just like, it's so creepy to just like, I like it. It's weird. Okay, we got to get past this because now we got to get back. So they get to the border and now we get we're
learning so much about you, Macuga.
The fourth incantation of Cheech Marin in this movie.
Second so far, right?
No, this is his first mention. When they get to the border, he's the border patrol. Border
patrol. Yeah. I thought you were talking about the titty twister. Yeah. So
his first incantation is border patrol,
which I read online that he has Oscar Marin, his dad's name, who was a cop
in L.A.
Which I thought was cool.
Officer. So they get to the border and they get past the border after like he has to knock out his brother in the shower because his brother's freaking out.
Every man in this movie is creepy because Cheech Marin, he opens the thing and she's like, I'm peeing, do you mind? And then they give this lingering moment of like,
yeah, he's checking her out.
And then he does it again right before. So it's like, I don't care how attractive someone is. I don't really want to see any woman pee.
I'm not into it. Some guys are into that. I'm not into it. Not really.
In Japan, they have water sports on television. Like, where it's like a game.
I don't want to go to. I want to go to Japan really bad, but
I mean, I've been to Japan. I didn't see them live. I've heard about that. I mean, I haven't seen
So,
them.
like, the concierge at your hotel wasn't like, guys, water sports show tonight in the main lobby.
It's weird. They hire to make us feel welcome in Japan. They hire a
1940s announcer. Hey, kids.
Hey, kids.
That's me.
There's water sports right down the street in Shinjuku. Anyways,
But
there are
parlaying this into his Asian son.
Yes, there we go.
The Asian adopted son. So they get past the border. They're all really happy. Quentin Tarantino wakes up and they're like, "Listen, you're going to go down this road."
And the best, that scene's so good that we skipped where Tarantino's just rambling behind Clooney. He just goes bam and just clocks him out.
Awesome.
That's such a badass moment.
Like, I guess you. It just seems like in so many movies, like especially in this movie, he gets tossed around like there's nobody's business. He never gets knocked out, and yet one little punch from him knocks out Quentin Tarantino for about 2 hours.
I mean, it's Clooney. He hit him with the douche tattoo. It's the power of the douche tattoo. He was like, you know, it's like a Dragon Ball Z thing.
So they get.
I don't like Dragon Ball Z.
You do like it? Don't you have Blu-rays of it?
No, I don't. That was after my time
Gotcha.
of nerddom.
It was after, before, current.
It was like after, like Power Rangers was like the end where I was like, should I be liking this?
Ben,
no, you know,
you shouldn't be.
I was in 6th grade.
Ben. Okay. So all right. So they get to the titty twister.
Yeah, titty twister.
And this might be top 10 favorite lines anybody's ever spoken in a movie.
Good.
Cheech Marin is so
Cheech Marin.
I want to say it correctly because he's always correcting people instead of Cheech Marin. Cheech Marin.
Yeah, you're right. It's not Mark Maron. It's Cheech Marin. Okay, from here on out, I will say his name correctly.
Yeah. So they get to the thing, and he rattles off a bunch of things about pussy, and then it cuts away, and then it comes back to my favorite part. Steven, hit it.
Pussy shoppers, take advantage of our pending pussy sale. If you buy one piece of pussy at the regular price, you will get another piece of pussy of equal or lesser value for only a penny. Try and beat pussy for a penny. If you can find cheaper pussy anywhere, fuck it.
You pointed there to the main camera, and I awkwardly pointed like behind your finger.
Guess who's not in any pussy? Ben. Okay. So, hey, Steve,
the best is that
play that one more time?
He looks in the camera for that.
It's just like, this is amazing that he wrote this in a movie.
Yeah.
You will get another piece of pussy of equal or lesser value for only a penny. Try and beat pussy for a penny.
I want to know the scale of like. Oh, sorry. Fuck it.
I mean,
I'd like to see a menu of the pussy at this place, like, because he's like, we got horse pussy, chicken pussy. It's like,
do I need that?
Is that more expensive? Because like, I feel like there's more wrangling with a horse than a
really
female, right?
Really
I mean, like,
there.
then there's you'd have to sign a waiver to fuck a horse.
He sees Juliette Lewis and he calls her apple pie pussy.
Apple pie.
That had to be an improv line. Like,
I think
way.
that most of that monologue had to be improvised, where they probably just wrote speech about pussy.
Go Cheech.
Go Cheech Marin.
Cheech Marin. It really intrigues. It's like, have you ever been to Amsterdam? You been to Amsterdam?
No, but I've been in New Orleans.
Okay.
Where my friend and I were walking out of
You
a
got a stripper
bar.
to whiskey down
No,
your
it was my bachelor party. We were walking out of a bar, and this homeless woman came up to my buddy and went, "Oh, pop that dick up for me," and started grabbing his junk and was like, "Pop that dick up," and we were like,
So it was the titty twister, but the New Orleans location.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Basically, yeah,
nice.
the titty twister. Yeah,
Guys, if you're in New Orleans, check out the titty twister on Bourbon.
Yeah, just look for homeless people that grab your crotch.
That set was built somewhere in California.
Yeah, in the deserts of California.
Yes, and really, I mean, it is the quintessential thing when you go to a strip club. Everybody always says it. I don't care who you are. Like I go by like a Roadhouse anywhere. All I keep thinking to myself is, if I was at a biker bar that looked like this, if there wasn't a guy outside like Cheech Marin into a mic screaming about pussy, I would be very, very disappointed. And to this day, this is what sells me on this movie. Is that Cheech Marin monologue?
Just that.
I can watch this movie. Like, the rest of the movie is good. I mean, it's fun, but that Cheech Marin monologue is just incredible.
But also, it's served as a constant disappointment because you've never found it in real life. It's like you're a unicorn.
Yeah, exactly. If I ever
You'll never find your Cheech Marin.
No. In Pennsylvania, on the way from Pittsburgh to the ski slopes, there was a place called
This entire thing is just going to be us talking about strip clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
the whole
appropriate.
movie takes place in a vampire strip club. Okay, it was called the Highway. So the High Mountain Highway something, but it was along the road, and you would take a ski bus for like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and every time you'd go by it, you'd see like XXX nude.
Okay.
And it was right off the side of the highway.
I thought you had to literally take a ski bus to get there.
No. We cheer for it, and then after we saw From Dusk Till Dawn, every time we drove by, we'd be like, apple pie, pussy, who and better pussy, and girls would be like, stop it with the pussy stuff, and I'm like, but it's hysterical, it's amazing.
P.S. I think I have said that word more times during the last 20 minutes than ever in my life.
Yeah.
I'm not
a very uncomfortable
I'm
word
not a
to
huge
say.
fan of that word.
No, me neither.
But Cheech Marin has made me say it.
Marin. And it's the way you kind of say it to make it funny. I'm not saying like, no, okay.
Anyway.
Let's get past it. So they get into this bar.
Get in.
Well, they have to break Cheech Marin's
First
finger.
off, that's the biggest mistake they make in the movie.
Yeah, pissing
because
him off.
otherwise, for all intents and purposes, they may have just had a fun night at a strip club, but they had to get their hubris, little Greek mythology.
You don't get a douche tattoo for nothing.
No, they
it's
just
for breaking
come on,
bouncers' fingers and kicking some ass.
Come on.
So they get in there,
But that's what sets everything off is that they beat the shit out of Cheech Marin.
Cheech Marin had it coming though. Yes,
yeah, he did.
He was kind of he was misogynistic.
He was.
You know?
I mean, that speech.
Objectifying women, guys, don't do it.
That speech, yeah.
Okay, so he gets in there. Danny Trejo is the bartender, and he tells them, "You can't be here unless you're a biker or a trucker." So
I guess we should do this for the rest of the Oh, you doing this over top?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We can do it over there. Though.
Now, what rung is yours? Because mine is on the final one.
I just put it on however you gave it to me.
Oh, okay, because I have a large head. Hats are like hanging on for dear life, like Cliffhanger on my head. It's like one notch. And
Cliffhanger, another good movie we'll do on this show. Cliffhanger's a good movie.
That is.
Good guilty pleasure.
Really
okay, so now we're truckers and we're allowed to be in the bar. We get, which is, again, going back to the part where the reason why this movie really disappointed me was because we never got to see Salma Hayek naked.
Yeah.
You walk in and there's boobs everywhere. This is the craziest bar I've ever seen.
And there's so many cutaways to like that one girl with
this is Vampire Roadhouse now at this point. It's Vampire Roadhouse, and Danny Trejo's the bouncer, and they got
Sex Machine with where Greg Nicotero comes up with the knife, and then Sex Machine's like, which by the way,
cock gun.
By the way, with the cock gun. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of being in a strip club? If you get a lap dance with that,
shoots her.
I mean, if it accidentally goes off, you murdered a stripper.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's no way you're feeling anything from the lap dance.
Of course, yeah.
So, like, of all places to put a gun.
Well, you know he wasn't
at a
getting
strip
laid
club
because he's
But he's called Sex Machine. Is it an ironic name?
Yes. Yeah, it's a Tarantino movie.
Do you think he doesn't have a penis?
Yeah, and it's a gun. Exactly. Steven nailed that one on the head. Okay. Let's move past this, Ben. Again, 2 weeks in a row where you've mentioned the penis.
I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense for a lap dance to get a lap dance
next
with a...
week hung. So now we get the strip tease with the snake and Salma Hayek, which is definitely, I mean, you got Demi Moore in strip tease and Salma Hayek in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies.
Jamie Lee Curtis, True Lies, great call. Elizabeth Berkley in Showgirls.
We just list like 40 movies.
That's My Boy with Adam Sandler. The strip club scene with the Denver omelet. It's great.
I never saw
that movie. It's a great free. Oh, shut up!
I never saw that movie because his voice just annoyed me from the trailers.
Yeah, that's my boy.
It looked like it could be a funny movie if he didn't choose that voice.
Oh, come on, it's super funny.
All
it's
right,
really good.
I'll give it a try.
I like everything. Anyway, so they get there, and then shit goes to, like, Cheech Marin comes in. Now all these bartenders that they fought and tried to kill before are now becoming vampires.
Well, first off, they stab him in the hole again.
The hole gets re-holed.
I mean, it was maybe healing a little.
I mean, the power of the duct tape was
healing it. Yeah. And then, come on!
Same hand,
really?
Not again, really? So then everybody turns to vampires, and you're like, if this is your first time watching this movie, you're like, what?
Because Salma Hayek, you're like, what is she? Why is she getting so turned on? And then she turns into like the snake vampire.
Yeah.
You're like,
damn it!
And that's when
everybody
erection
turns into Predator. Yeah. You went from being like, I want just the worst. So now we're in the midst of vampire battle. Everybody's getting totally
it's just
destroyed.
A melee of
melee.
The best part is the band somehow had time to form a body part guitar that still plays music.
Yeah, great music too.
I mean, that's a skill.
They had to tune it.
They tuned it, and it's like a torso with like a leg shoved in the crotch,
a head at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a
and
full body. Just
in the deleted scenes, we saw that there's a saxophone with a spinal cord
as the
and
key,
a head
as the notes, which
and a
makes
skull
sense.
Drumsticks.
Yep. Classic.
I'm just saying that is a talented band.
Guys,
They're ready. They're
when
open
you're a
for
musician,
any.
You're a musician.
They're open for any bar mitzvahs or bar mitzvahs or
Vampire mitzvahs.
vampire mitzvahs.
And that's Robert Rodriguez as the lead singer. And
no, it's not.
says it in the I'm Dust Till Dawn.
It's not.
IMDb. Well,
No,
the drummer is from
he's the-
Oingo Boingo.
Yeah, but the lead singer was the guy in Desperado who gets shot, who chases after Antonio Banderas and then gets the guns put up against his head.
Right. Okay. Anyway.
You just don't like that I trumped your.
Yeah, you didn't. I thought it was Robert Rodriguez. I'm an idiot. My bad. I mean, right away, Tarantino gets killed.
Yeah,
so at the
instantaneously.
end of the first battle, the only people standing left are Harvey Keitel, his Asian son, Julia Lewis,
Tom Savini and Fred Williamson.
Who, by a little known fact, every movie that Fred Williamson's ever been on, he's on the cover of it holding a gun. So if he's the star of the movie, he's on the cover of it holding a gun. The guy's awesome.
He's so
incredible.
badass.
So they're the only ones left, and then they go and they get Quentin Tarantino's body, and then he's like, "I'm gonna miss you," yada yada. He's like, "I'm gonna miss you too, Seth," and he turns into a vampire.
Like that voice is.
That was really good. Do it again.
I'll miss you too, Seth.
One more time.
I'll miss you too, Seth.
That was really good.
I specialize in slow motion creepy voices.
Ben, how have I never heard this before?
Because the
This is
rest of the show, I just do it like that.
Well, I really like this movie a lot.
I cannot do that. I'm gonna have to work with. Wow, Begley, guys, that's incredible.
There we go.
So they
Secret skill.
Basically, they then have to kill. Like, he obviously doesn't want to kill his own brother.
I hope I can give you the peace in life or in death that you never had in life.
Dang.
And then
Now-
he does this cool little like.
Yeah.
No time for tears.
Yeah.
Douche tattoo wipes away the tattoo, the tears.
Douche tattoo. When you get it, you sign
Fixes
a
everything.
contract.
You sign a contract. You can't
do it.
cry if you have that tattoo.
Doesn't matter if your brother gets killed or not. And then my favorite
Or if you have to
line,
kill your brother.
besides the pussy line in this movie, is this next line. Steven.
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
Now, that's what
Yeah.
Kate, played by Julia Lewis, asks him if he's okay.
Are you okay?
Are you okay,
The
Seth?
worst thing to ask somebody after all this has happened.
It just killed his brother who turned into a vampire. Could we get that one more time, Steve?
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
Classic Clooney line, which, this is sort of after my last girlfriend broke up with me and somebody were to ask me how I felt.
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
This would be after I got fired from Chuck E. Cheese, and I was really upset about it because I liked being the mouse.
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my
That was
oyster?
completely made up.
After they canceled Bad Judge, this is what I said to Kate Walsh.
I'm Peachy, Kate.
Oh.
What is my oyster?
After I saw Underworld 4 and wasted money in the theaters, I said to Kate Beckinsale,
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
Kate Mara after she got pushed in the train tracks in the second season of House of Cards.
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
spoiler alert, I haven't seen that show.
Well, if you haven't seen that show, you're a dummy.
Let's see what else.
When Tom Cruise came out of the closet to Katie Holmes, this is probably what her dad told her when she told him that her husband was now gay.
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
There you go.
I'm so confused who was talking in that
The
scenario.
dad was saying that to
Okay,
Katie
Kate.
Holmes. Yeah.
What else? What other Kates doing?
When Katie Holmes told James Vanderbeek that she was thinking about leaving Dawson's Creek.
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
Every time I hear that song from Dawson's Creek, I think
I'm Peachy, Kate.
that was terrible.
That was really
That was
bad.
terrible. I'm sorry. You threw me off with the Tom Cruise Katie Holmes one.
Last week I went to McDonald's thinking that the Big Macs were $1 after midnight, but apparently that doesn't happen anymore, and this is what I told her.
Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
Yeah.
This is after I got food poisoning from a pastrami sandwich at Subway, and I had the finger cuffs of stomach viruses. I thought,
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
This was after the end of Private Practice. A lot of people came up to Kate Walsh and just told her this.
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
Again, more Kate Walsh stuff.
this was the end of almost every Academy Award nominated movie I saw this year that was depressing as hell but really good. I thought to myself,
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
I feel like Boyhood is getting a lot of credit and it's a great movie. But the kid who played the boy in Boyhood is a total douche. And if somebody asked me what I thought of him, no, this makes no sense. Rewind. I just don't like that kid. He was terrible at the second word. You said great movie.
Yeah,
great movie. But we're gonna keep that soundbite around for a little while.
Yeah, we're gonna ponder on it.
Yeah, ponder on it.
We're gonna ponder on it.
So. Thanks, Steven.
Yeah.
Dawson's Creek theme.
I thought it was, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know. I should not know. I don't know any more of the song. I don't know.
Okay, so
what
now,
an angsty show.
So now that we're getting in basically into the third act where all the bats are outside. They
and when and Fred Williams and Sex he does that
Sex Machine
awesome
gets bit.
and he's in that comedic way like hiding it and then his hand turns and he's like
yeah. He
does like a Three Stooges like awesome little moment there, and then Fred Williamson's speech though is amazing where he's like, I found out I killed the entire platoon of Viet Cong or whatever.
He tells an amazing war monologue that we don't hear.
It's like the speech from Jaws, where he's like, we were chasing after him and he ate all of it. Or the speech in Deep Blue Sea where Samuel Jackson's like, we're going to survive this thing.
Yes.
And then, pretty good Sam Jackson, by the way.
Really good.
And then the
Can
shark
you do a
eats
slow motion Sam Jackson?
We're going to survive this thing.
Perfect. Can you get the snakes off this motherfucking plane?
In that voice?
Yeah.
I want to get... I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
There you go.
It takes like 45 seconds to say that. So he says this awesome speech, then gets bit, and he's like, Argh!
Right. And then he throws Sex Machine through the window, which lets the bats come in.
Yeah.
Now the bats turn into vampires right away, and they hustle down. Harvey Keitel gets crushed by a bat. He ends up behind the bar. George Clooney and the two kids end up in the back room. Right, and he gets bit too. Harvey Keitel gets bit. They you gotta go back and get my dad, but then whatever. So Harvey Keitel takes a shotgun and a bat and makes a cross,
cool.
which is awesome.
When they first reveal all the practical like vampire effects, like there's like 50 of them out there.
They're just waiting for Keitel, and he uses the cross to get away, and he gets to the back room, and then they start just making awesome vampire weapons.
The best like montage before a third act ever, where it's like super soakers, the
water balloons.
I still don't.
It's crossbow.
It's
it was
like
a jackhammer.
Jackhammer that they put a crossbow in, which is unbelievable.
No, they put a stake in.
Yeah, and the crossbow.
And then all he still has is the cross shotgun. They go out there, and then they start just blowing
and I like putting the crosses
up.
in the bullets and stuff so that it makes sense why they explode when they get hit by the bullets.
Yeah, that's just an awesome effect. And a smart move. And then, so then they go out and they blow up everybody. And
there's some crazy effects in there.
Crazy effects.
And then the brother gets
killed.
He's getting like eaten by like 12, and he's like, kill me.
She's like, I can't. And then boom,
and then it explodes.
Everybody.
Wait, and I forgot though earlier to ask about the band when they're like about to kill the band, and they go, "Fuck you, everybody, good night," and then explode.
Again, another plot hole.
Did they die or did they commit suicide?
Suspension of belief at this point. They made a band out of body parts.
I think they turned into bats that we just didn't see.
Oh, maybe.
But then there's the rat monster that happens when Sex Machine's head gets ripped off.
Right, that's pretty sweet too.
That's super weird rat vampire.
Let's finish this. We're getting there. We're getting
there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
So, finally the light starts pouring in.
Yeah.
And the vampires start getting burned. They start shooting holes, whatever.
Shoot more holes!
And then Cheech Marin shows up in his third incantation as the guy who's supposed to meet, right?
Yeah.
And they open the door, and then everybody gets blown away by Carlos.
Yeah.
And they're like, what was in there? A bunch of freaks? And he's like,
psychopaths.
He's like, I don't care.
Do psychopaths blow up when they hit sunlight? I don't care how fucking crazy they are or whatever. It's so good.
So he's like, how can I make it up to you? They decide on 50% of the bank money that they stole.
But then it was 30%, and then they go 15, 20, and then they settle on 25. So apparently Clooney's like, my brother was worth 5%.
Not a great negotiator.
Yeah.
So then Juliette Lewis wants to come with Clooney. He's like, I'm a bastard, but I'm not a fucking bastard, which I don't really know what that means.
Because he alludes to the fact that El Rey is like a sketchy place.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, do you even know what El Rey is? I'm a bastard, but I'm not a fucking bastard. And then he gets in the car, and you're like...
Because she'll probably get sold into sex slavery? Is that what
maybe, but I mean, her life isn't that much better with, like, her entire family killed by vampires and just left alone. Well, she did get a ton of cash.
A ton of cash and a Winnebago. Yeah. Okay, here's my
That's the best case scenario.
Yeah, when you win. She's winning. Yeah. Here's my biggest plot hole in the whole thing, is that, okay, if this bar is full of vampires, and you see at the end of the movie, it cuts back
it's like
and
a
says
temple,
and there's all those those trucks and stuff is just behind it, and they just like, wouldn't at some point people would just like stop going there? Like their buddies keep disappearing, they go to the titty twist, and like, well, Dave didn't come back, guess I better go find him. Vampire. Well, Ken didn't come back, guess I better. Vampire. Well, Dave didn't come back, guess vampire.
I got 2 friends named Dave. Both Daves are gone.
I run out of names so quick. Well, Scott went down there, he did.
Like Dave number 3 went down there, he disappeared too.
Wouldn't they just like people just start being like, hey, it shouldn't go down on the titty twister?
Yeah, well,
and then why? And then okay, so all these people keep dying, but the staff keeps living on. Like Danny Trejo's a vampire. All the staff is good. They eat everybody.
I think they were good until Clooney came in and killed all of them. I think they survived all the time. But I wondered if any of them, like Sex Machine, seemed like a regular there.
Yeah,
like he
was
didn't notice
around.
it before. Like, oh shit. Oh, things are weird. I guess I need to stop drinking so much.
Like again, it's just if this was a pop-up bar that only existed this one night, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah,
but it seems like
this
it's been
is a
there
mainstay.
Yeah. Again, that's the only thing that always made me just a little confused.
And I love when they reveal, like, Clooney's like, why did you pick this place? And he's like, one place is good, just as good as the other. And he's like, because you happen to pick this bar out of a fucking hat.
Yeah.
Her family's dead. My brother is dead.
Didn't think the cops would come by. It's a shady place. Yeah, well, nobody's coming by because nobody's leaving.
Yeah.
Everybody's dying from vampires.
I mean, I guess, suspension of disbelief. If they can make a guitar out of body parts, they can...
Well, here's what I would say, Steven, if you're ready for this. If somebody sent me to a bar full of vampires and I came out and they'd be like, are you okay?
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
Perfectly said.
If
Thank
somebody
you, George
discounted 5% off of my 30% fee, even though my brother was killed by vampires, I'd tell Carlos.
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
If I was supposed to get a like-new Porsche, but I got a 90 that had only been driven 14 times by a drug dealer friend from El Rey, I'd be like...
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
If I was covered in my adopted brother's blood and my dad's blood, and I got like a stack of probably at least $100,000 in a Winnebago, I'd probably say...
I'm Peachy, Kate. What is my oyster?
And if somebody were to tell me next week that we are doing Demolition Man as our guilty movie pleasure, I'd be like... All right, that comes to the end of our program, and continuing with our Oscars month theme, next week we are doing Demolition Man, starring Sandra Bullock, a winner of the Oscar last year for Gravity. Sylvester Stallone, winner of an...
She won for... did she win last year for Gravity too?
so.
Or Blindside?
She won for Blindside. My bad. But she was nominated for Gravity.
Yeah.
And Oscar winner Sylvester Stallone from his Rocky fame. And obviously he won for Rambo First Blood.
And Oscar winner Wesley Snipes for Bankruptcy and Tax Evasion.
Yes. That was a big year for him.
It was a great role he played.
He was also nominated for an Oscar for the first 3 Blade films. So there's that.
Especially Blade Trinity.
Classic. Ryan Reynolds. Awesome. So, next week, Demolition Man. Follow my buddy and co-host Ben Begley at Ben Begley Comedy. Special edition, guys, before you go, a special edition this Thursday of the Guilty Movie Pleasure Show. I will not be here, but Mark Ellis will be sitting in for me with Ben Begley, and they will be interviewing Booger from Revenge of the Nerds 1, 2, and 3. Great actor. He's currently on My Girl, or The New Girl. He plays the vice principal to Jessica Day, played by Zooey Deschanel, and he's
hilarious.
And Revenge of the Nerds, which is an amazing trilogy. I mean, it's a fantastic movies. Guilty Movie Pleasures all the way around. So they'll be here Thursday morning, talking some Guilty Movie Pleasure with him. And then next Tuesday, get ready for Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
What's your Guilty Movie Pleasure? And until then, be well.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Christian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.